this view is a lot nicer than just looking at grass from my front porch. These are all pollinator plants, and they attract a lot of butterflies, monarchs especially, in the spring and the fall. All of my drought-tolerant perennials are starting to knit together in this. This is the third year of my drought-tolerant garden, and they're starting to cover the dirt pretty well so that I don't need to mulch so often, or even at all, I guess eventually, and that'll save me money, and it'll also save the soil. These are fall asters. They're a favorite of butterflies, bees. This is perennial blue floss flower. It gets a little bit unwieldy in the fall, but it is also a favorite of butterflies and bees. So I just let it go where it wants because the first frost will kill it. This is northern sea oats. Very reliable, no care required, a good host for insects. I think everyone has this purple plant in their yard, purple heart. I always have a few bees on the purple heart. They love the flowers. This is another plant, you just get it established and then you can forget about it. It doesn't need coddling. This is my shade area that is planted with mahonia and beautyberry, and also leatherleaf fern and Lenten roses. I'm a big believer in letting the site and the sun exposure and the side of the yard determine what you put there. You need to work with your yard and not against it. All of these are drought tolerant and shade loving. The Lenten roses will bloom every February. All this garden needs is to be weeded occasionally and raked in the winter. It sits under a live oak tree that never loses all of its leaves. I hope it's light enough for you to see back here. This is my compost area. I try to throw everything back here except limbs, grass cuttings, and leaves. I think it's a good idea to have a spot in your yard that's kind of out of sight from public view, where you can have your debris and the stuff that you might need, mounds of soil or compost or whatever, that you can use, but not necessarily attractive to look at, so it's kind of out of the way here. I'm lucky to have this big row of shrubs across my backyard that I can hide things in, including a wheelbarrow. I also have a big bag of stuffing that I hooked to the fence here to address the problem of squirrels tearing up my lawn cushions, my lawn furniture cushions. So I just took the ones they tore up, pulled the stuffing out, put it in a laundry bag and hung it on the fence. And it has kept them away from my other cushions while giving them some nesting material. I like to keep water on the grounds for birds, although the squirrels drink out of it a lot. I think having insects come into your yard is good to keep the bugs down. Here's some more beautyberry. This trough has rosemary and prickly pear in it, and I've started Shasta daisies around the bottom because they'll cover up the unattractive part of that bottom, and they also are a good ground cover so that I won't have to mow up close to it once they're established. And all of that is drought tolerant. Once it's established, I won't have to worry about it anymore. I could even mow over the Shasta daisies if they become too large. This is the part of my yard where a tree had to be removed, and it's very hot and sunny. I throw seeds out here, poppies in the spring and zinnias in the summer, and assorted wildflowers have kind of made their way here. And of course, pollinators love it, birds love it. This is an area where nothing would grow. It was way too shady. So I cut down the crepe myrtle that was trying to grow there, and I put in a seeding area. Again, you have to work with what you're given in your yard. You can't try to force things to grow where they just won't grow.